Hey everyone, welcome to my playthrough of Fate's Stay Night Realta Nua, the original novel patched for English. I'm mainly doing this for a friend. She's getting into the franchise and I thought I'd give her this for audiobook listening. I am going to be recording this as if my parents were going to be watching. Don't worry, censorship won't be too bad. There'll be a pinned comment down below if you want more information on that. In the meantime, let's begin. Type Moon presents. The tip was like a lightning bolt. A spear point thrust out to skewer my heart. It was meaningless even to try to dodge it. Like lightning, it was too fast for a human eye to follow. But the lightning made to pierce me was parried by the moonlight come to save me. Steel rang bell-like against steel. No, in truth, the sound that rang out before me was heavier than steel. On the whole, there was no beauty to it at all, and the simplicity of the armor she wore was like the frozen night air itself. There could be no sound of beauty here. The sound that I heard was just steel. Rather, the beauty that made it ring out like a bell was something wielded by the night herself. I ask you, are you my master? She spoke, and her voice drew back the darkness. I have arrived in response to your summons.
これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。ここに契約は完了した。
Henceforth, my sword is with you, and your fate with me. Here, our contract is complete. Yes, the contract was complete. Just as she chose me as her master, surely I, too, swore that I would save her. Now the moonlight crisply breaks the darkness. The shed, as though imitating the form of the night, takes back its former silence. Time stood still. It was a scene that probably lasted less than a second. Even so, I'm sure that even if I fell into the depths of hell, I could clearly remember the figure she struck then. Her face turned just slightly towards me. Her endlessly gentle, pure green eyes. This moment seemed to stretch on into infinity. The blue dress that symbolized her swaying in the wind. What shone in was just the barest sliver of blue light. Her hair, like gold dust, was bathed in the light of the moon. Honestly, think I messed up a little on that reading. I should do better to sound the way the characters would sound. If not in voice acting, then at least in tone. This is a story from 10 years ago. Probably longer than that. I'm looking at someone I haven't seen for a long time. A tall man with deep lines in his face, who so far as I know has never once told me a joke, is patting my head. No, that's not quite right. It's more accurate to say that maybe he doesn't know how much strength to use, and rather than patting my head, it's more like he's grabbed my head and is shaking it from side to side. It's only natural, I suppose. If nothing else, this is the first time he's ever patted my head.
それでは行くが、後のことは分かっているな。
Well, it's time for me to go. You know what to do now, don't you? With a heavy voice, but careful of my manners, I replied, yes. The man who was patting my head nodded once, took his hand off my head, and stood up. That was it. If I'd known that that would be the last time, I would have made him laugh with one of my best jokes. One day I'll crack that sour face, I told myself, as over and over I practiced telling funny stories by myself. I suppose you could say it's sad that, in the end, I couldn't tell him any of them.
成人するまでは教会に貸しを作っておけ。それ以後の判断はお前に任せる。お前ならば一人でもやっていけるだろう。
By the time you come of age, make sure the association is indebted to you. What you do after that, I leave up to you. Knowing you, I'm sure you can get by on your own. Even as he said that, I'm sure that he was worried about me. As he talked about the family heirlooms and the jewels passed down from the great master and how to manage the basement workshop, all the things that he hadn't had time to teach me, as I watched him try to get them out as fast as he could speak, my child's heart realized he's probably never going to come home again. A war began. Not a war of country against country, rather a war of men against men. I say that even though the number of fighters was only 7. You might say that doesn't really fit the definition of a war, but if those fighters are mages, then that's a different story altogether. 7 mages from different factions started fighting for reasons I didn't understand, and killed each other by means I didn't understand any better. One of those people was the man in front of me. He too was in a position where he would kill, and perhaps someday be killed. I'm sure he felt even more clearly than I did that that time was close.
リン、いずれ聖杯は現れる。あれを手に入れるのは遠坂の義務であり、何より魔術師であろうとするのなら避けては通れない道だ。
Rin, one day the Holy Grail will appear. Attaining it is the duty of the Tosaka, but more than that, if you consider yourself a mage, it's a path you cannot run from. Once more, he gave my head another pat, and he left. That's the end. He took part in the Holy Grail War as a master, he never came home, and that was the last I saw of the man who was my teacher and my father.
いってらっしゃいませ、お父様。
Goodbye, father. Politely, I saw him off. I knew that I was about to cry, but I shed no tears. I loved him. He was an excellent father and an excellent mage. To be a mage is to be an eccentric. In that world, I'm sure there was no one so good at being a man as him. He taught me as a teacher, and he loved me as a father. So I decided that whatever he left me in the end, I would decide my own path for myself. Rin, one day the Holy Grail will appear. Attaining it is the duty of the Tosaka, but more than that, if you consider yourself a mage, it's a path you cannot run from. At the very end, not as my father, but as a mage, he left me those words. Like that, in that instant, the path I would follow was decided.
よし、それじゃあ一つ気合い入れて一人前になりますか。
Alright, I'll work hard and stand my own 2 feet. It's natural for an apprentice to follow the instructions of their master. Since then, through many twists and turns, I, Tosaka Rin, have grown up. It's already been 10 years since that winter day my father went off to war. It's not that I've been eagerly anticipating this moment, but I'm unconsciously excited. That's also natural. The event that I haven't forgotten in 10 years is about to start. January 31st. Ugh. Something's ringing. Ring, 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 ring.
うるさい。止まれ。
Shut up. Cut it out. The sound doesn't stop. Ring, ring. It rings with an incessant clamor like it's declaring me an enemy of its house.
はいよ、もう。昨日は遅くまでやってたんだから。もうちょっと。
What do you want? I was up late last night, so just a little more. It'd be fine if you let me sleep just a little longer. No, rather you should let me sleep. Wait, bad reading. No, rather you should let me sleep. If nothing else, I was up until the morning deciphering my father's will, and I've totally used up all of my magical energy. In other words, I'm completely exhausted, and my body and spirit are both utterly worn out.
もう融通の利かないやつ。
Enough, you inflexible tool! Ring, 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 ring! Words have no meaning for the alarm clock. I say that, but I wonder what mechanism does the ring ring of the clock sound like it's... Let me start over with that. I say that, but I wonder, by what mechanism does the ring ring of the clock sound like it's saying, "You're gonna be late! You're gonna be late!"
遅刻。遅刻はまずい。
Late. Late is bad. But there's a time and a place for that, too. However much of an honor student I am, wouldn't it be fine if just today I only barely made it on time?
そうそう。あらかじめ30分ずらして目覚ましをセットしたんだから、あと30分は眠れるはず。
That's right. I set the alarm 30 minutes early on purpose, so I should be able to sleep another half hour. Wait, isn't that a little strange?
30分ずらして。
30 minutes early. With sleep-drunk eyes, I look at the alarm clock. The hands are clearly showing 7 o'clock. Since my habitual time to wake up is 6:30, that 30 minutes I'd saved is already completely used up. Oh, why can't I ever think clearly when I wake up? I spend a few seconds glaring at the alarm clock. I stop the bell and reluctantly decide to get out of bed. I cross the cold floor and move into the chill living room. It's the last 7 o'clock in the morning of January. The town of Fuyuki is usually reasonably warm in the winter, but just for today, it's uncharacteristically cold. Even inside the house, I can see my breath, and it's not like it's colder inside my house because it's just me who lives here.
暖房暖房。
Heating. I turn the heater on and head for the bathroom. At times like these, living alone is kind of inconvenient. If there were someone around to wake up before me, surely the heater would already be on. In the bathroom, I wash my face. I run a brush through my long hair and finish making myself presentable. Cold morning, chilly bathroom. If there's one good point, it's that cold water will knock the sleep out of you whether you want it to or not. I tie a ribbon in my collar and and my preparations are complete. All that's left is to finish breakfast and go to school. Looking at the clock, it's still just a little after 7, which is a little bit of a letdown.
なんだ、これなら走っていく必要もないか。
At this rate, I won't even have to run. But then I have no intention of doing an unsightly thing like dashing to school in the first place. Never be in a hurry and always carry yourself with grace is the motto in the Tosaka family. To hold on to a motto like that, my ancestors must have been high-class people indeed. This anachronistic Western mansion is more than sufficient proof of that, and moreover, the House of Tosaka is a bloodline of sorcerers that's passed magic down through the generations. Speaking of old, we're indisputably the bearers of an ancient history.
まあ自慢できることでもないんだけど。
Well, it's not exactly something you can brag about, though. It's not even really something you can tell anyone about, either. The truth is, my name is Tosaka Rin, and I'm a magician. Who exactly are you supposed to impress saying something like that? Magic is exactly what it sounds like. I don't really care if you get funny ideas about abracadabra or anything like that. If you think of us as people who cast spells and make mysterious things happen, that would be fine. With that said, it's not like I fly around on a broom or shoot stars out of a wand. I could do things like that if I wanted to, but there's no point to it, so I don't. Fundamentally, what we are is heathens hiding from the world. Doing anything that would make you stand out is forbidden, and even if you had time to, you'd spend it locked up in your house, diligently doing research. While I'm at it, magician is a bit of a misnomer. Properly speaking, there are only 5 true magicians in the whole world. Able to do things no one else can duplicate, things totally beyond the reach of modern science, the people who can make these so-called miracles possible are what we call magicians. Arcana that are unreachable no matter how much time or artistry you pour into them are what we dub magic. Things that are reachable with time and artistry, no matter how mysterious, are what we call magecraft. So, the arcane mysteries that I make use of are not magic in the truest sense. While I might call them magic, they're nothing more than just magecraft. It's a little complicated, but that's how we do things, so I'd appreciate it if you could keep it in mind. Honestly speaking, mages aren't approved of in the modern world. We, who believe in, manipulate, and learn things that can't be measured, are incompatible with modern society. Whatever else, it's pointless. If you were going to study magic, if instead you just went to a normal school and became a normal person, you'd be many times happier. Human technology is magnificent. For the last few hundred years, magic has constantly been chasing after civilization. Nothing is impossible for humans anymore. Miracles that were once only possible through magic have long since ceased to be miracles at all, and are now just the work of everyday tools. Well, even so, magic has its own advantages. In the same way that there are things that can only be done through science, there are things that can only be done by means of the arcane. If science is sprinting headfirst into the future, then magecraft is like a thing charging headlong into the past. Didn't the great master of the Tosaka family say something like that? Into the past or into the future, in the end the place they reach is the same. They continue running towards zero or something like that. Let's leave aside the hard stuff like that for now. In any case, philosophy is something you should leave to delight in your old age. I finished breakfast, I take my bag in hand.
そうだ、ペンダント持っていかないと。
Oh, right, I need to bring the pendant. It's awkward to bring something like that to school, but it would be a shame to leave it behind.
何しろ100年ものの石だものね。うちにある宝石の中じゃダントツで最強だし。
Whatever else, this stone is 100 years old. It's far and away the strongest jewel in the house. No, rather a better way to put it would be that it's on a different level from anything else in the house. This jewel, which I found last night deciphering my father's will, is infused with as much magical energy as I could produce in 10 years. In the Tosaka family, they say there are heirlooms passed down from long ago. Maybe this is one of those. The mages of the Tosaka family, skilled in working the change and flow of energy, channel their own magical energy into jewels whenever they have the time to. To put it shortly, if I'm a gun, then those jewels would be like bullets. If you ask if there's anything else my father left to me, it would be just the magic crest of the Tosaka family on my left arm. To explain a magic crest in simple terms, it's both the proof of an heir and the inherited magic of the Tosaka family condensed into something like a tattoo.
まだ始まったわけじゃないけど、用心に越したことはないか。
It's not like it's started yet, but it never hurts to be careful. I tuck the pendant, now a memento of my father, into my pocket.
切り札だものね。これに秘められた魔力ならできないことはないぐらいなんだし。
It's a trump card too, after all. With the amount of magical energy stored in here, there's nothing I couldn't do. It's 7:30. If I don't get going soon, I won't make it to school on time.
Schließung für fallen dry.
Schlesung verfahren 3. Translated as Luck, Code 3. I promptly channel some magical energy and speak the words. When a mage leaves their stronghold, they can't neglect to take precautions. Even if, up until now, there's never been any sort of intruder, not a burglar or a lost child or even so much as a stray cat. Actually, I feel like even the neighbors have never so much as stopped by to say hello.
別にいいけどね。野良猫でさえ入ってこないってどういうことよ。
I guess it's fine. But even stray cats won't get close? What's with that? I look up at the house I've gotten used to living in for over a decade. Fuyuki City is an odd town. The neighborhood on the other side of the main intersection has plenty of Japanese-style samurai manners, while the neighborhood on this side has a lot of Western-style mansions. Apparently, long ago, lots of families moved here from overseas, but be that as it may, I've never seen any foreigners around here. There's even a foreigner cemetery in Shinto across the river, but all of the graves there are of people who came here at the time.
日本の土が合わなかったのかな。
Maybe the land here didn't suit them? Yeah, the next time I go to the church, I'll try asking the priest. No doubt he knows about all kinds of boring things.
What?
Huh? When I go outside, something feels off.
なんだろう。思ったより静かなんですけど。
What the? It's quieter than I expected. It's quiet outside, and I can't feel any of the morning's usual bustle. At 7:30, the streets should be busy with students going to school and people going to work.
まあ、こういう日もあるか。
Well, maybe there are days like this too. I wonder if everyone's sleeping in today. It's unusually cold today. No doubt everyone's still at home, wrapped up in bed.
けどさすがに
Still, though, this is... However you look at it, it's weird that I haven't seen even a single student yet. At 7:30, I ought to be able to see uniforms milling about here and there. But right now, the only one here at the gate is me, as though the morning practice for the clubs has only just started. In other words, the only conclusion we're naturally led to is...
あれ、遠坂？今朝は一段と早いのね。
Huh? Tosaka? You're really early this morning, aren't you?
やっぱりそうきたか
Ah, of course that's it. I sigh lightly and turn towards the girl student who called out to me.
おはよう。今日も寒いね、こりゃ。
Morning. It's cold today too, huh? The frankly speaking girl is Mitsuzuri Ayako. My classmate in Class 2A, and a person I have some amount of history with.
おはようみつづりさんつかのことを聞くけど今何時だかわかる
Good morning, Mitsuzuri-san. This is an odd question, but do you know what time it is right now?
何時って7時前じゃない。遠坂寝ぼけてる？
Eh? What time? It's still before 7, isn't it? Aren't you awake yet? Are you okay? Ayako's waving hand seems to ask. She's one of my few friends who knows that I'm not a morning person. In short, she's probably assuming I'm still not my usual self.
うちの時計1時間早かったみたいしかも軒並み
It seems like the clocks in my house were an hour fast. Not just one, but all of them.
目覚まし時計はおろか柱時計まできっかり早まってた
The alarm clock's one thing, but even the grandfather clock was fast. Really, what's going on here? Dad didn't arrange for all the clocks to go crazy when I pulled the pendant out of the basement, did he?
遠坂？
Tosaka?
気にしないで別に大したことじゃないからそれよりみつづりさんは今日も朝練
Don't worry about it, it's not really a big deal. Leaving that aside, are you holding morning practice today too?
ああ、弓道部は問題児も多いし、うまいのが一人減ったからね。4月の新入生獲得のために少しぐらいは見栄えを良くしとかないと。
Yeah, there are a lot of problem kids in the archery club, and I lost one of the ones who was good. I need us to put on a better show if I'm gonna get new recruits in April.
そう気苦労が絶えないのね相変わらず
Like always, you never run out of things to worry about.
他人事だからって言ってくれるわ。あ、ついでだから見ていく？遠坂が見学する分には男どもも喜ぶけど。
You say that because it doesn't involve you. Oh, as long as you're here anyway, do you want to come and take a look? If you come and watch, I'm sure the boys will be happy, but...
弓道部か
The archery club, huh? There are 3 people in the archery club that I know at least a little. One of them is Ayako here in front of me, and the other 2 are acquaintances I don't have much opportunity to talk with. Although, one of those isn't really someone I could just explain away as an acquaintance. In the first place, I became friends with Ayako, the captain of the archery club, only because I'd already been watching the club from afar.
そうね様子を見るだけなら付き合うわ早く来すぎたからやることもないし
Alright, as long as all I have to do is watch, I'll tag along. I'm here too early anyway, so it's not like I have anything else to do.
よし、じゃあ善は急げ。早速行こう。
Alright, let's hurry up and go then. And with that, I think it's time to break it off for the next part. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that. I intend to play through to the end for at least one route. I also plan on covering Tsukihime. Let me know if you want me to cover any other routes in the future. And I'll see you next time. Peace.